What would you say to someone who's unsure about using Shopify?
My business has grown significantly since getting on Shopify.
I don't want to get this because then my title is going to be RNG Chooses My. So what is up, everybody, and welcome to another edition in the RNG Chooses My Extreme Demon series. I know I just did one. But it's May, so I thought I'd participate in the memory challenge and do a random memory extreme demon. I think that's a good idea. So here are the levels. It's not every memory level. All right, so here we go. We got Limbo. Limbo, perfect start. Nightshade, we got Requiem, we got 666, troll level. Marathon. Fuck, bro, don't get that. Art of the Blade also don't get that, please. Super probably level classic. I think that's it. Yeah, these levels are hard, bro. Like, I'm getting really lucky with these RNG levels, yo. I'm getting easy ones. Am I gonna get fucking like destroyed here or something? Let's go, bro. Oh, oh my god, I hate this game, bro. No way. I'm not gonna be able to finish this in a month, dude. I also don't want to get this because then my title is gonna be RNG Chooses My Memory level instead of Limbo in the title. I'm gonna get less views. So Wheel chose Limbo. Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, I guess it's about time I played this level, isn't it? So how to play this level? Like, I don't know how to fucking play this. I probably already have like 15,000 attempts on this because I've just done so many practice runs and they all take so long to do. Yeah, this part I'm just gonna, just do whatever. This practice run is just gonna be me saying, I don't know how to do this at all. I'm gonna figure it out later, though. This is like the reason I hate this shit. Love it, so annoying. I think I figured it out, and I wanna show you guys what I did. I noticed that the audio starts being really off sync. This part right here, the pitch change. Okay, I didn't rely on audio enough to like kick. I didn't know it was gonna be that bad by the key part. Shouldn't auto music sync do its thing? At first I tried to put it to like 20 milliseconds, it did nothing. I tried to pause. On the second time I got 90 and it did jack shit also. So the music stops for like around 166.6 milliseconds if you pay attention there. That's basically how I fixed the sync, and I'm really hoping this works from zero. Really hoping this works from zero.
I'm Fanny Texier, and I'm a documentary filmmaker. I love being expressive with color because color has the ability to grab the viewer's attention.
Oh my god. Please, dude. Please, please. Oh my god, I don't know. Yes! 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 Oh
That
my
was literally
god.
the second attempt.
Holy fuck. I can't believe I actually got that.
Good job.
I actually was not very confident with that. That pattern wasn't that good. But... So we actually beat it in May, yo. We actually fucking did it. I trolled you guys on Twitter.
as I'm in the midst of applying for residency right now. Wish me luck. Grammarly has again been a lifesaver with my application in helping
Because Chi literally wouldn't even join when I asked him to join. Apparently he had to be in his own CEO to buy fucking armor.
What?
Yes, next.
That's retarded.
You do not have to be in your own CEO to get snacks.
I verified Akron! I verified Akron! What? What?
No, you didn't.
I verified Akron! I verified Akron!
I'm fucking God!
I verified Akron!
No way!
I verified Akron!
Hey, Georgie. Hey, Georgie. Hey, Georgie. Hey, Georgie. Just wanted to welcome you to the team with this little video.
Right now, it's a brand spanking new, reacting to true story scary animations. Girl, you better get that out of here. If you like these videos, then please just do it now. Click the subscribe button and smack the like button. Now, this is not a drill. You know what to do. Get your blankets, turn off the lights, go to the kitchen, grab the snacks. It's okay, you can go ahead and do it now. Get the chips and the candy and get all the cookies, yeah. I'm talking juice. We need soda, we need water. Nah, just juice and soda, and yeah. Get the Pop-Tarts, toaster strudels, get a waffle, whatever you got, and bring it back. And gotta give a shout out to MJV Animations. They're the ones that made these amazing animations that we're about to watch. And yeah, comment down below something scary. You can put gorillas, you can put zombies, or you can put your mama. Let me know. Woo, I'm nervous, but let's go.
For some background of this story, I'm a female, and I worked at Target for a while, over a year ago. The Target that I worked at was very close to my apartment at the time, and it was a pretty enjoyable job for me. My favorite part was talking with coworkers and becoming friends with them. Mostly what I would do is work in the clothing department. I would do all sorts of things there, and it wasn't very stressful because things usually don't get busy like they do in the grocery section.
Booty!
At the time of this story, I had been working there for almost 4 months. I remember it very well. It all started on a typical day at work. I was in the clothing department, particularly the women's section, straightening up items that were out of place. It was during the daytime, and the store was calm. This is when a tall man approached me. Assuming he was a customer who had a question about something, I greeted him, asking how I could help. The man stood there, looking directly at me with a somewhat creepy grin on his face for a moment. He then said, "Yes, you can help me, by going out with me tonight." I laughed it off. I had no interest in going out with the man, but I wasn't scared of him or anything. I just told him that I had a boyfriend, even though I didn't actually have one. This was always the best way. I just told him that I had a boyfriend, even though I didn't actually have one. This was always the best way to tell off a guy that I wasn't interested in my experience. The man replied rather quickly, saying, "No, you don't." I told him that I did, and I asked the man if he needed help finding anything. He then responded with an even creepier reply. "Yes, directions to your house." I laughed off this remark as well. I was just hoping that the man was joking around, because this was getting really weird. After he said that, I told him that I had a lot of work to do, and I told him to have a good day. Then I started making my way to another section of the large clothing department that we had. The clothing area was practically big enough to get lost in. I was hoping to lose sight of the man, but when I started moving away, he followed. I had made it to another section, and he was still next to me. I stopped. I didn't have a problem with confrontation, and I said to the man, "Why are you following me? You're kind of creeping me out." The guy put his hands up as if to say, "My bad." He then walked away, and it was a huge relief. I had dealt with customers asking me out or trying to flirt with me a couple of times. It didn't happen very often, but here and there it did. None of them had been nearly as bad as this, though. I kept working for several hours. By then, I had forgotten about my experience earlier, but I soon remembered when I spotted the same man. I couldn't believe it at first. This was now about 3 hours after our first interaction. To me, it was still mind-blowing that he was still in the store. Maybe he had left and then come back. Either way, it was strange, and it was now a bigger concern for me, because shortly after I had spotted him, I saw him look over at me and then look quickly away. The man was sort of far away too. It looked like he was almost hiding from me. He stood, mostly covered by a rack of clothing, staring in my direction. I moved slightly and kept working, to which the man moved slightly as well to keep looking at me. He stopped and sighed. This was really annoying now. I walked away at me. He stopped and sighed. This was really annoying now, slightly as well to keep looking at me. He stopped and sighed. This was really annoying now. I walked away, leaving what I was doing. I moved to a whole nother section of the store, far away from that one. There, I didn't really have any work to do, but I just wanted to get that man off of me. I was now in the grocery area, and I was there for about a minute before spotting the man again. He was walking into the area, and he saw me for a split second, and then disappeared into a nearby aisle.
How'd he move that quick?
At this point, I decided to take my break. I had one that I could take at any time, and I was planning to after I had finished the work that I was doing in the clothing department. But seeing as this creep was back and still following me around, I decided to just take my break now. I radioed in on my walkie-talkie to let my supervisor know I would be taking my break. Then I headed towards the front end of the store. Our break room was through doors at the front, and I walked in there. When I walkie to let my supervisor know I would be taking my break. Then I headed towards the front end of the store. Our break room was through doors at the front, and I walked in there. When I got inside the break room, I thought back to the crazy situation. Did that man seriously think he was being slick?
Yeah.
And I spotted him twice, and it was like he... Did that man seriously think he was being slick?
Yeah.
And I spotted him twice, and it was like he thought I couldn't see him. I just hoped that he would notice I was not there anymore and then leave. I'm not going to lie. I took a little bit extra time. On my break. I was pretty concerned to return back out and see the man again. If I did see him, I was going to have to tell a coworker or our security team. I didn't want to have to do that, but I would if it was necessary. When I went back out though, I didn't notice the man anywhere. I went back to work in the clothing department, but was much more alert and constantly looking around. I didn't see the guy for the rest of my shift that night, which was about 2 more hours. I was really happy about this, but still, I thought possibly he was still there looking at me somewhere and had just gotten better about hiding. At the end of the day though, I don't think he was. I left work and went home, not seeing the guy at all. Soon, I forgot all about him. I worked several more times that week, mostly my usual shifts. One night, the very next week, I found myself working on a quiet evening. I was almost done, and it was past the busy amount of customers that we would usually get between 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. I was doing my usual work of organizing a section of the clothing department. That's when I got a call on my walkie. Somebody radioed asking for me, and I radioed back telling them to go ahead. I wasn't quite sure who had said it, but that wasn't uncommon. A big store like Target has so many employees. Plus, there are always new people. A handful of my coworkers, I could instantly recognize their voices over the walkie-talkie, but many of them I could not. After telling them to go ahead, they asked me to go to Channel 3. This is how we would communicate without other employees hearing us. It was used for more descriptive details or directions on what we were supposed to do. After turning to 3, I told them to go ahead again. That's when I was told that I was needed in receiving and to help with something quick. I told them that I was on my way and began walking over. Receiving was the back room of the store basically. I wouldn't work back there a lot, but I had helped with things there several times in the past. It took me a few minutes to walk all the way back there, and when I had made it, I exited the store into the back. Things were very quiet back there. I had expected to see someone there waiting for me. I turned my walkie to Channel 3 again and said that I was in receiving. Nobody said anything.
No.
But I heard my voice echo onto somebody else's walkie nearby. I then called out, asking where they were, but I didn't get a response. I walked closer to the voice, which was near one of the doors leading to outside. I noticed that it was open, and I could see outside into the night. That's when I saw the man again. He stepped out from behind a shelf back there.
Run!
The night. That's when I saw the man again. He stepped out from behind a shelf back there.
Run!
Night. That's when I saw the man again. He stepped out from behind a shelf back there. Into the night. That's when I saw the man again. He stepped out from behind a shelf back there.
Run!
I couldn't believe he was here. That was you on the walkie, wasn't it? I said to him. The man just started walking towards me.
Oh my God.
I backed away as he got closer. I looked at how much taller he was than me. If he tried to grab me, it would be difficult to get away. He got closer, and I turned around.
Don't
but as
just
soon as I
stand
did,
there.
he grabbed my arm. Then he started to pull me backwards. I started yelling, but back there, it wasn't likely anybody would hear me. Suddenly, I heard the doors leading back to the shopping area open. I then saw one of my coworkers, Amy, walking over. I yelled at her, and she asked what was going on. The man let me go and then sprinted out the doors outside. I ran over to Amy and explained to her what had happened. Amy told me that she had heard the person asking me to go to Channel 3. She said that when she didn't recognize the voice and was just being nosy in general, she turned to Channel 3 as well. She was wondering what I was being asked to do. When she heard I was supposed to go to receiving, she found it strange, because she had just been there earlier in the night and wasn't aware of anything that would be done back there. She decided to see for herself, and I'm really glad that she did. We had to call the police and report the incident, but unfortunately, not much could be done. The man had bought a walkie-talkie and got on the same frequency as us, which was not hard to do at all. Many standard walkie-talkies were capable of it. I'm just glad I was all right. I worked at Target for a few months after that, and luckily, never saw the man again.
No! Guys, stick with me. Don't go anywhere, please. I'm scared. We're just gonna watch one more, okay? Stay with me. Let's go! Hello?
Last year, I moved into a new house far from the city. My new job was work from home, so I had no reason to be in a clustered and expensive city anymore. For the first couple months, I was enjoying everything about the place,
Those eggs look
especially
good.
it being so far from other people. But on a regular weekday afternoon, I got a knock at my door. This was actually the first time anyone had come up to my door at this place since I moved in, so it caught me a little off guard. I went up and opened the door to a tall middle-aged man. How can I help? My door at this place. This was actually the regular weekday afternoon.
Those eggs look
Especially
good.
it being so far from other people. But on a regular weekday afternoon, I got a knock at my door. This was actually the first time anyone had come up to my door at this place since I moved in, so it caught me a little off guard. I went up and opened the door to a tall middle-aged man. How can I help you? I smiled to be friendly, thinking he was probably a neighbor from down the street. But strangely, the first thing he did was lean to the side and look past me into my house.
Looks like
It was
Frankenstein.
like he was trying to see who else was home. Being weirded out by his behavior, I pulled the door in and blocked the way with my body. Before saying anything, the man turned and walked away from the door.
Why is he so
I
mad?
stayed and watched him go all the way down the driveway and continue walking until he got to the street, where he got into a parked car and drove off. Without a doubt, that was the strangest encounter I'd ever had with someone up until that point.
Yeah.
I really had no idea how to even think about it. That night, I stayed home for dinner just to make sure the man didn't come back. I debated calling the police to put in a report, but I thought I'd sound stupid for doing that just because some man came up to my door and did nothing. Around 9 p.m., I turned on the TV and tried to get myself more relaxed before trying to sleep. While I was on the couch, though, I heard a voice speaking outside. I quickly muted the TV and listened.
What are you watching?
It was muffled, but I could make out at least the TV and listened.
What are you watching?
It was muffled, but I could make out at least two separate people talking somewhere in the back of my yard. I ran up to the back window and opened up the blinds. In the distance,
Oh no.
I could see two figures walking across my backyard. One of them had a long tool or object in his hand, but the other one was too hard to see clearly. They walked between the trees in my yard until they reached the side of my house. I went over to the side window until they reached hard to see clearly. They walked between the trees in my yard until they reached the side of my house. I went over to the side window and tried to see where they went, but I lost track of them and they had stopped talking. I checked every window.
Call the
still
cops.
Couldn't see or hear them anymore. The loud knocking at my front door made me jump and sent chills through my body. I walked up, trying not to make any noise,
Constipated?
and looked through the peephole. There was one man dressed in dark clothing and wearing a hat that covered his eyes. He had to be one of the men I'd just seen, but where was the other? "What do you want?"
Your mama.
I yelled, figuring they likely already knew I was home, or maybe I'd scare them away. The man stayed on the doorstep and looked over at the side of my house, then looked back at the door. After a few seconds, the lack of response started to terrify me. I went back to the living room to get my phone and call the police, but was interrupted by a loud smashing sound, followed by another and another. I looked across the hall and saw a man hitting a shovel against the back door.
Oh, this is personal.
He saw me and looked at me for a second, then ran away. I was so scared, I hesitated on whether to call the police or try to find somewhere to hide.
Call the police!
The best answer was obviously to do both, but my thoughts were interrupted again when I heard the side window getting hit. I got my phone and dialed 911 while the man continued to hit the window
Are you serious?
over and over. But just as the police picked up the phone, everything went quiet. And it stayed quiet until the police came. When they pulled in, I was surprised by a sudden commotion outside. It turned out to be the man at the door who had chosen not to leave. And after a closer look, it was the same man who'd come by earlier that day. Strangely, when the police detained him, he refused to say anything about the other man that was with him. He denied everything over and over, even though there were clear cracks and dents in the doors and windows.
Ugh.
It was frustrating to listen to, and even weeks later, the man still refused to detail why he had come by my house twice that day, or who the other man was. Everything remains so unanswered that it still creeps me out to this day. Why was the man trying to break in so bad? And what purpose did the man at my doorstep serve to aid in the break-in? I moved away in the following months and have since only been hoping that it wasn't me they were after, or are still after.
No! Girl, you need to get an alarm system. Security, like 24-hour security.
YouTube ads is made for
Hello friends, I'm Serum and welcome back. How to catch giant spiders at home. At our house we all have bathrooms, but hopefully not a centipede in the sink. Push it down. Watch where you sit. I think we learned a valuable lesson. In school you're supposed to learn valuable. Watch where you sit. I think we learned a valuable lesson. In school, you're supposed to learn valuable lessons, and well, I guess he did learn that he could escape from class without her knowing. This cop came to this door, rang the doorbell, and well, got surprised. Was he more surprised, or this cat? I'd say this bug. Can't stop the A train. Can't stop the cruise ship. They got left behind. They're stuck. This train professional almost got bit by this baby shark. Like and subscribe right now, or this spider will crawl in your mouth when you're sleeping. She got her braces off, and her teeth look like this from the side. Wear your retainers. Why is she brushing her teeth? Well, she just drank out of this can. Always check before. Those are bugs. Those are cranberries. But there's a lot of bugs and spiders under there. You better watch where you walk. You better watch where those are cranberries, but there's a lot of bugs and spiders under there. You better watch where you walk. You better watch where you swim. There could be a giant spider below you. Arachnophobia and thalassophobia. How does this girl do this? Realistically, how does this girl do this? Crying like a baby. This baby makes the funniest face. Are you serious right now? This man married his capybara. She stopped chewing. Speaking of marriage, this is a Jewish wedding, and I see money everywhere. I just want to be invited. Who says fairies aren't real? I've never seen anything like this before. Halloween Horror Nights, she pointed, that is gonna be the victim. Everywhere. I just want to be invited. Who says fairies aren't real? I've never seen anything like this before. Halloween Horror Nights, she pointed, that is gonna be the victim. And while he came over with his chainsaw and, well, made her fold. Speaking of chainsaws, this trained professional is testing the safety equipment. As we can see, the orange vest stops and gets tangled in the chainsaw for safety. Granny putting down barcodes like the ops on the block. Got some recoil on that thing. Dang. This person received a package from heaven. Give it to me. Animals you're glad are extinct from the forest, aka Ohio. From the jungle, giant monkey, practically a grizzly bear. This is the king of from the jungle, giant monkey, practically a grizzly bear. This is the king of Be Real, and he walked in this position every single day for way too long of a time. Weeks, months, years, decades, centuries. Is this real or fake? It's definitely fake. While it's still red, Steve Lacy was being quirky at his concert.
I don't know, but I feel it coming. Might be something my demon on. I just
Bro's set up.
Alright, good night, you guys.
Close up versus far away zoom in. People always look better when it's far away. That way you don't have the fisheye effect. This girl does not shave her leg. It's either she gets it amputated or doesn't shave her leg, so obviously there's a clear choice. This man had a choice to not eat the bugs, but he still did because it's part of his diet. There's a clear choice. This man had a choice to not eat the bugs, but he still did because it's part of his diet. But he couldn't take as big of a bite as this man, who holds the world record for the largest mouth. Guess you could say that's jaw-dropping. Bro is a titan. All of a sudden, they spotted a spider. And well, where is it? Hey man, good night. He's got a bunk bed. Look up.
Good night, bro.
These rabbits were fighting in the good night. He's got a bunk bed. Look up.
Good night, bro.
These rabbits were fighting in the middle of the street, only in Ohio. Y'all seen this? Buddies from open season, Jotaro and Dio. Bro hit the most zesty jump shot ever in recorded basketball history. Grippy boy makes your grip really strong, and he's making a ton of progress every single day. And well, when you do a handshake, another box is a week.
The ones I've already lived, these are the ones
Here's one thing you need to do before buying anything online. Don't spend another dime on Amazon until you watch
I have left. Happy Tuesday.
Well, another box is a week.
The ones I've already lived, these are the ones I have left. Happy Tuesday.
Well, that got dark quick. At least we're dancing and happy. Wait a minute, she saw a spider. She wouldn't survive in here. A whole tarantula room. And each one of these boxes has multiple tarantulas. Don't buy edible crystals. They're not good. They taste like soap. At least they don't taste like chalk. I don't think this is a joke anymore. This is known as the whistlegrath. Warning, this hamster is currently 25 kilometers away from... Oh my gosh, it's here. Where is it? Don't open the door. Be safe. Picking up her daughter from her first day at daycare, she was so happy to see her mom. It's about time. This man went from 24 years old to 15 after he shaved. I feel like man went from 24 years old to 15 after he shaved. I feel like a kid again looking at all these Halloween decorations when I went trick-or-treating. But now I'm old and I can't go. But look at how many when I went trick-or-treating. But now I'm old and I can't go. But look at how many decorations there are. Like, where do you store all of these? Enough for the whole neighborhood. Bro slashed his own tires. Wearing a waist trainer might not be worth slashed his own tires. Wearing a waist trainer might not be worth it considering it's painful. Does it work? If you bite, you go to air jail and it only takes one arm. Bro's plotting his escape. 300 poppers versus the ground. Really underwhelming. This iPhone function is not underwhelming. You can now draw your password. Hold on, is she wearing the...
In my solitude.
This baby was not having it, so he decided to end the TV. This baby was not having it, so he decided to end the TV. Baby was not having it, so he decided to end the TV. This is not real meat. It's actually marshmallows that are melted with red velvet cake to look like minced meat. Perfect for Halloween. Jeffrey Dahmer is typing.
Hi, Jumbo.
Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer too. I'm half crazy, all for the love of you. Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer too. I'm half crazy, all for the love of you. It won't be a stop. Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer too. I'm half crazy, Daisy, give me your answer too. I'm half crazy, all for the love of you. It won't be a stop. Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer too. I'm half crazy, all for the
Let freedom ring. Let the white dove sing.
would prefer to do in private because it could be a messy process when I'm eating.
Who is Randy Adams? He is probably the most bravest and most inspirational man you will ever see in your life. He is a U.S. Army man that represents bravery, leadership, loyalty, and kindness. Randy is a veteran who's been serving the U.S. Army since he got out of high school. Adams is recognized by his fellow soldiers and everyone who knew him as a brave and heroic person who never hesitated to save someone else's life, even if that meant putting his life on the line. But unfortunately, something tragic happened in 2020. Adams was a victim of an assault that led to his face being severely injured. His face was severely affected and it spread through his entire body and led through organ failures. Even today, with all the reasons to possibly give up, he still rises. He still serves his
YouTubers that accidentally recorded a live Murd 3R, Sam and Colby.
Can you get that? Yeah. Somebody's screaming bloody murder. Let's get out of here faster. Come on. How is that? Dude, that scares them. What the f? You hear that? Yeah.
YouTubers who got YouTubers that accidentally recorded a live Murd 3R, Sam and Colby.
Can you get that? Yeah. Somebody's screaming bloody murder. Let's get out of here faster. Come on. How is that? Dude, that scares them.
YouTubers who got killed doing pranks. Valentina Grigorieva. Stanislav Reshetnikov forced his pregnant girlfriend out onto his balcony in his apartment. He left her out in freezing temperatures because his followers encouraged him to. She eventually died from hypothermia. YouTubers who became murderers Part 1. The YouTuber Elliot Rodger.
Tomorrow is the day of retribution. The day in which I will have my revenge against humanity. Against all of you.
The day of retribution. The son of a Hollywood filmmaker killed 6 people. Roger left the car and saw students cross the street. He shot at them, killing Veronica Weiss and Catherine Cooper. The suspect proceeded on foot and fired several rounds into the deli. One of the shots struck and killed student Christopher Martinez. Then he drove down the left side of the road so he could fire at 2 pedestrians. YouTubers who became murderers Part 1. The YouTuber Elliot Rodger.
Tomorrow is the day of retribution. The day in which I will have my revenge. Tomorrow is the day of retribution. The day in which I will have my revenge against humanity. Against all of you.
This chilling video shows Elliot Rodger, the 22-year-old Santa Barbara college student who police say killed 6 and injured 13 in Friday's mass shooting and stabbing spree. This day of retribution, a plan Rodger outlined in a 137-page manifesto obtained by CNN affiliate KEYT. Roger wrote, "All of those beautiful girls I've desired so much in my life, but can never have because they despise and loathe me, I will destroy." A family friend, Simon Astaire, says Roger sent his diatribe, called My Twisted World, to a couple dozen people, including his mother and father, not long before terrorizing the UC Santa Barbara campus. He wrote, "I will kill them all and make them suffer, just as they have made me suffer. It is only fair." Roger's mother, Lichen, discovered the terrifying threat in her email at 9:17 that evening. She then discovered her son's last YouTube video titled Retribution.
And I will slaughter every single spoiled, stuck-up, blonde I see inside there.
Lichen then called Roger's father at 911. The parents frantically raced.
Major developments after that shooting rampage in California. Tonight, investigators pouring through that manifesto and, of course, the gruesome discovery in the alleged gunman's apartment. More bodies after his shooting spree in the streets. A community still in shock tonight. Thousands gathering at a park, candles in hand, holding a tearful vigil for the dead and the injured. Friends leaning on each other, so many new victims, so many others witnessing the shooting spree itself, lasting several minutes. And the slow and steady line of people this Sunday placing flowers at every stop along that route of terror. Tonight here, more on those chilling and eerie videos and on the police visit with the suspect well before all of this unfolded. We do have team coverage from the scene in California, and we begin here with ABC's Bazi Kanani right there again for us tonight. Bazi, good evening.
Good evening, David. Tonight, the memorials in this college town are growing. Students bringing candles, flowers, pictures to the places where their classmates lost their lives, as we're learning more about the victims and the deadly attack. The first images of the terrifying moments in this college town with a gunman on a rampage. Students seen ducking for cover in this surveillance video from the IV Deli Mart as bullets rip through the store's windows.
He fired 2 shots in. It stopped for about 2 seconds before they just started.
Rip through the store's windows. Surveillance video from the IV Deli Mart as bullets rip through the store's windows.
He fired 2 shots in. It stopped for about 2 seconds before they just started raining through.
Some of those shots killing 20-year-old Chris Michaels Martinez. Investigators say the deli was one of 10 places Friday night right next to the UC Santa Barbara campus where 22-year-old Elliot Rodger hurt or killed people during his mad drive around town, hitting students like Nick Pasachuk, who tonight is still recovering.
Shots fired, shots fired.
The first calls for help just before 9:30 p.m., but we now know it may have been many hours before that when police say Rodger killed 3 men inside his own apartment, all stabbed repeatedly. Investigators say Rodger then drove to the Alpha Phi sorority house, opening fire on young women in the area, killing 2 members of another sorority. Rodger's next stop, that deli.
I honestly thought that was my last moment. I thought I was going to die.
Survivors say the suspect was smiling as he shot at them. Deputies chasing after him in his black BMW exchanged gunfire with him twice. The rampage.
All hands hoist the colors high. Yo.
World War soldiers before and after. World War soldiers.
This is a terrifying picture of a shell-shocked soldier who lost his mind in the trenches of the First World War. Oh, no it's not, but the real story is even more interesting. This is Private Lindsay Rogers of the Canadian 25th Battalion after he was wounded on September 15th, 1916. Rogers was reportedly talking to his sergeant when he was shot directly in the neck by a sniper, with the round passing right through his neck and killing the sergeant he was talking to. Rogers miraculously survived, but had to lay in this trench for hours waiting for the cover of darkness so he could be evacuated. In this picture, which does look very creepy, Rogers was likely just smiling for the picture, which was very common, even for wounded soldiers. Or he might be smiling just because he's happy to be alive after all that. And his eyes don't really look like that. The film just didn't capture his light-colored eyes in that picture. Rogers would later recover from his wounds and return to the front, but he was killed in action on August 16, 1917, while charging an enemy position. This is a terrifying picture